Picture waking up each day with a very clear understanding of what you are meant to do, not affected by obstacles, unconcerned by the confusion surrounding you, and determined to concentrate on what is really important. It may seem almost like something only a superhero could achieve, but this was the daily reality for Marcus Aurelius, a powerful Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher in ancient times. His private writings, which have been preserved for centuries, are not just reflections from the past, but are surprisingly still useful advice on how to control yourself in the middle of life's distractions. Today we are going to explore the core ideas of Stoicism, not just as theories, but as useful methods for living a more controlled and satisfying life. Stoicism shows us how to use challenges to our benefit, how to find peace in difficult situations, and how to gain strength from life's uncertainties. If you are dealing with everyday stresses, Stoicism can help. If you are searching for inner calm or wanting to improve your efficiency, learning about the Stoic way of living can provide valuable understanding. In a world full of countless distractions and immediate pleasures, this philosophy helps to keep us grounded in the values of wisdom, bravery, fairness, and moderation. This is not just about getting through life, but about excelling in it despite any difficulties. If you're prepared to change how you see and deal with life's obstacles, then keep reading as we explore the impactful lessons of Marcus Aurelius. Learn how these teachings can help you develop a strong and disciplined life now as we delve into Stoic philosophy and its profound teachings. If you like our content on Marcus Aurelius, please do us a favor by pressing the subscribe button. Make sure to watch the entire video as you are a unique viewer interested in his philosophy. Stay tuned for special insights we will delve into together. Is the belief that self-discipline begins with finding your purpose. But what does it really mean to find your purpose? It's about discovering what truly matters to you, what drives you at your core, and aligning your daily actions with that deeper calling. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about living in agreement with nature, which in Stoic terms means understanding your role in the larger scheme of things, and acting in harmony with your virtues. For Aurelius, the purpose wasn't just a lofty ideal,
but a practical compass
that guided his every decision, from the mundane to the monumental. He believed that understanding one's purpose is what pushes you out of bed in the morning, ready to face the challenges of the day. It's what keeps you steadfast when temptations beckon you to stray. And it's not about grandiose achievements or external accolades, but about fulfilling the duties that life has laid out for you, for performing each task with commitment and integrity. In a modern context, finding your purpose can often feel overwhelming. We live in a world saturated with choices and distractions that can lead us away from our true paths. Here is where Stoic wisdom is not just helpful, but essential. Stoicism teaches us to peel back the layers of superficial desires and fleeting emotions to reveal what is truly essential for our well-being and growth. It encourages us to ask ourselves, what is truly worth my time and energy? How can my actions today contribute to the greater good and to my personal development? As we explore how to apply this principle in our lives, think about what you are naturally drawn to, where you find deep satisfaction, or what challenges you are motivated to solve. These are clues to your purpose, and once identified, the Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes invaluable. By continuously aligning your actions with your purpose, by saying no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does, you cultivate the self-discipline necessary to live a meaningful and impactful life. Let's take this insight from Marcus Aurelius and apply it daily. Ask yourself each morning, what am I meant to do today? And each evening, have I lived true to my purpose? Over time, this practice will not only build self-discipline, but also transform your life into a more purposeful and fulfilling journey. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about self-discipline, a recurring theme in his reflections
was the importance of relying on oneself.
Count on yourself is not just about self-reliance, but an integral part of the Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of personal accountability and independence. This isn't about isolation or rejecting assistance from others. Rather, it's about recognizing that the ultimate responsibility for our actions, reactions, and personal growth rests within us. In Stoicism, the idea of focusing on what is within our control as paramount. Aurelius often discussed the power of the self in confronting whatever challenges life throws our way. By counting on ourselves, we tap into our inner resilience and strength.
This principle teaches us
To trust in our abilities, to navigate through life's uncertainties and adversities. It's about building confidence, not through arrogance, but through competence and a thorough understanding of one's own capacities and virtues. This self-reliance is liberating, but also daunting. In today's interconnected world, where opinions and advice are constantly at our fingertips, learning to listen to our inner voice
can be challenging.
However, Stoicism teaches us to filter out the noise and to trust in our reasoned judgments. Aurelius believed that this internal guidance was the most reliable counsel one could have, because it is rooted in reason and virtue. By counting on ourselves, we also develop autonomy in our decision-making processes, enables us to make choices that are aligned with our values and principles, rather than being swayed by external pressures or temporary emotions. This autonomy is crucial for maintaining personal integrity and for living a life that is true to oneself. So how can we start to truly account on ourselves? It begins with small steps, making commitments and keeping them, setting personal goals and working towards them independently, and taking time to reflect on our decisions and their alignments with our core values. Over time, these practices strengthen our self-discipline, making us more resilient and grounded in the face of life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized the power of persistence, of showing up not just in body, but in spirit every single day. This practice is not about monumental efforts unleashed sporadically, but about the quiet, steady dedication to daily tasks, which collectively forge a disciplined life. For Aurelius, showing up every day was synonymous with the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature. To him, nature demanded of us not just to exist, but to actively participate in life, to contribute to the world through our actions, no matter how small or routine they might seem. Each day presented itself as a new arena, not for grand battles, but for proving one's commitment to their principles and duties. It's in the consistency, the everyday effort, where character is built and tested. In today's world, where distractions are many and motivations can be fleeting, the idea of showing up every day gains even more significance. It's easy to feel inspired one day and completely off track the next. Here, Stoicism teaches us the value of consistency. It's not the intensity, but the regularity of our actions that cultivates true discipline. This doesn't mean that every day needs to be a masterpiece of productivity. Rather, it's about not letting a day slip by unnoticed or unutilized, whether it's advancing in our career, improving our health, or deepening our relationships. Progress in any area requires the simple, often overlooked commitment to show up every day. Moreover, showing up every day is deeply intertwined with the Stoic practice of mindfulness, being present in the now, and doing today's work today, without the burdens of yesterday's failures or tomorrow's worries. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about focusing on the present, about doing the task at hand, and to the best of one's ability. This focus is what turns routine into ritual, Putting effort into improvement. To cultivate this discipline, start small. Decide what showing up means for you. It could be as simple as writing a single paragraph of that book you've been meaning to write, or doing a 5-minute workout, or spending 10 uninterrupted minutes with a loved one. The scale is not what transforms us. It's the act of showing up itself. Each day that you meet your commitment, you reinforce your willpower and build the resilience and that defines Stoic philosophy. By adopting this daily practice, you embody the Stoic belief in personal responsibility and continuous self-improvement. You become a living testament to the idea that, while we may not control the outcomes, we can control our efforts. In the consistent act of showing up, we find the discipline necessary to lead a purposeful and fulfilling life. This Stoic practice, strongly advocated by Marcus Aurelius, is about much more than just making life intentionally difficult. It's about preparing oneself for the unpredictabilities of life, strengthening one's resilience, and deepening appreciation for what one has. Marcus Aurelius, like many Stoics, believed that experiencing discomfort voluntarily helps to fortify the mind against times when life might force discomfort upon us. This could mean choosing to forego certain luxuries during physical challenges, or simply practicing self-denial in small everyday decisions. The logic is straightforward.
If you're accustomed to hardship,
sudden adversities won't throw you off balance. You're training your resilience muscles, so to speak, ensuring you can face life's challenges with a calm and composed mind. But why embrace discomfort in a world that constantly strives to offer us comfort? The answer lies in the very fabric of Stoic philosophy. Growth often happens at the edges of comfort zones. By voluntarily stepping into less comfortable spaces, we not only test our mental, if we choose, in practicing voluntary hardship, you also cultivate gratitude. It's easy to take everyday comforts for granted, but when you occasionally live without them, you begin to appreciate them more profoundly. This could be as simple as skipping a meal, which can heighten your appreciation for the food you do have, or opting to walk instead of drive, which might deepen your gratitude for mobility and health. Moreover, voluntary hardship connects us to the reality that many people live with, being voluntarily every day. This connection can foster empathy, humility, and a deeper understanding of the human condition, anchoring us more firmly in the reality of the world we share with others. So how can we integrate this practice into our lives? Start small. Choose something manageable. Perhaps wake up an hour earlier than usual. Limit your use of technology for a day, or choose the stairs over the elevator. The key isn't in the scale of the hardship, but in the regularity and intention behind it. Each act of voluntary discomfort is a step towards greater mental fortitude, all in self-discipline. This principle distinguishes between what is and isn't within our control, urging us to focus our energy solely on the former. This seemingly simple concept can profoundly, may transform our approach to life's challenges, reducing anxiety and fostering a deeper sense of peace, mission, and resilience. So what exactly is within our control? According to Stoicism, it's primarily our own actions, reactions, and judgments. Our thoughts, our will, our responses. These are the arenas where we have agency. Everything external, be it the weather, the actions of others, or global events, lies outside our direct control. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized this point in his meditations, noting that becoming upset or disturbed by things outside our control is not just futile, but counterproductive to our well-being. Practicing the dichotomy of control starts with this realization. While we can influence external events, we cannot control them entirely. The Stoic learns to accept this fact, not passively, but as a liberating truth. By focusing on our own actions and letting go of our attachment to outcomes, we can maintain our tranquility and effectiveness, regardless of circumstances. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or detached from the world. Instead, we engage with it more constructively, channeling our efforts where they can actually make a difference in daily life. Applying the dichotomy of control means asking ourselves, is this within my control? Before reacting to any situation. If it's not, me. The Stoic practice is to let it go and move on. This is easier said than done. Of course, it requires practice, mindfulness, haka, and the occasional reminder to ourselves of what truly lies within our sphere of influence. Moreover, this practice has practical implications for how we set goals and expect outcomes. While we strive to achieve our goals, tying our happiness or self-worth to the realization of outcomes determined by myriad external factors is setting ourselves up for frustration. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to find satisfaction in the pursuit itself, in our adherence to our values, and in the effort we put forth. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers did not promise a life without challenges. Instead, they offered a strategy for maintaining inner peace and dignity, regardless of life's highs and lows. By practicing this principle,
or than by external events. The idea here isn't to deny the difficulties or injustices that one might face. Rather, it's about shifting the focus from what happens to us to how we respond to what happens. Aurelius believed that every external event comes with a choice. How will we let this define us? By refusing to play the victim, we reject the idea that our emotional well-being is at the mercy of external circumstances. This is a liberating realization that opens the door to greater personal growth and resilience. In practicing this principle, we start by observing our habitual responses to challenging situations. Do we immediately look for external factors or others to blame? Do we spend our energy complaining about the situation rather than addressing it? Changing these patterns isn't about suppressing our feelings, but rather about understanding them more deeply, and redirecting our energies more constructively. It involves acknowledging our pains and disappointments, while also recognizing our capacity to move forward despite them. Moreover, this Stoic teaching encourages us to see every obstacle as an opportunity to practice virtue and strengthen our character. This perspective is fundamentally proactive and empowering. It transforms potential feelings of helplessness into moments of choice where we can assert our agency. Each challenge becomes a test of our commitment to our values and an opportunity to demonstrate fortitude, perseverance, and resilience, qualities that define the Stoic ideal. By never playing the victim, we embody the Stoic ideal of emotional independence. We develop an inner fortress of calm and equanimity from which we can engage with the world more fully and freely. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or indifferent, but rather achieving a state where our happiness isn't easily disrupted by the ups and downs of life. In this way, We live not at the whim of our circumstances, but in alignment with our deepest principles, regardless of what life throws our way. Marcus Aurelius championed this principle, not just as a personal discipline, but as a pathway to greater freedom and satisfaction. In the Stoic view, while mastering one's impulses by delaying gratification isn't about denying pleasure, but about achieving a higher form of fulfillment that is aligned with one's values and long-term goals. Delayed gratification in the Stoic sense, which involves a strategic postponement of immediate desires to gain more significant and enduring rewards. It's about making choices that might not offer instant satisfaction, but lead to lasting well-being and personal growth. This principle is particularly relevant in our modern culture of instant everything, where the ability to wait, to hold off for something better, is a rare and valuable skill. And for Stoics like Aurelius, the practice of delayed gratification was also about maintaining mastery over one's desires. He believed that being enslaved to fleeting pleasures could lead to a loss of freedom, and that one becomes captive to their whims and impulses. Instead, by exercising restraint or in choosing our actions based on reason and foresight, we cultivate a life not just of temporary pleasures, but of lasting tranquility and contentment. Implementing delayed gratification in everyday life can start with simple habits. It might mean saving money rather than spending it impulsively, or choosing a healthy meal over fast food, or even dedicating time to study or practice a skill instead of immediate leisure activities. Each of these choices reinforces the Stoic practice of prioritizing long-term benefits over short-term ease or pleasure. Moreover, the benefits of this practice are extensive. Research in psychology supports the Stoic view, linking delayed gratification to better outcomes in career education, health, and personal relationships. People who can postpone immediate gratification are often better at handling stress, reaching their goals, and living healthier or fulfilling lives. This concept goes beyond merely not listening to negative feedback. It's about cultivating a mental resilience that allows you to remain steadfast in your convictions, and focused on your goals, even in the face of doubt and skepticism from others. For Stoics, the approval or disapproval of others is outside one's control. and therefore not something to rely on for personal validation or guidance. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about focusing only on actions and opinions within one's own control, emphasizing that true peace comes from within and cannot be shaken by external judgments. This Stoic indifference is not about being dismissive of others, but about maintaining an internal locus of control. It encourages us to filter out noise that does not serve our higher purposes or align with our values. In practical terms, ignoring naysayers, which is crucial in our modern world, where opinions are plentiful and criticism is often just a click away. It involves recognizing that while constructive feedback can be valuable for growth, baseless criticism should not deter us from our path. This distinction is vital. Stoicism teaches us to evaluate the source and intent of the criticism we receive. Is it informed? Is it well-meaning? Does it align with our core values? Moreover, practicing this principle means building a personal philosophy robust enough to withstand external pressures. It's about being confident in your decisions and in actions, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep understanding of your own values and objectives. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced daily, not just as a ruler, but as a human being, striving for virtue in a complex world. The ability to ignore naysayers also enhances our emotional resilience, making us less reactive to negative opinions and more focused on our long-term vision. In a culture that often emphasizes the social validation loop, being able to step outside this cycle and stay true to oneself is both rare and powerful. In embracing the Stoic practice of ignoring naysayers, we are not only protecting our mental space, but also actively choosing where to invest our emotional energy. It's about not letting external noise distract us from our internal dialogue, the one that truly shapes our lives. This concept is rooted in the belief that much of our learning and personal development comes from observing and reflecting on the lives of those who have mastered virtues. We aspire to develop, emulating wise individuals isn't about copying them, but about learning from their example to enhance our own character and judgment. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, often wrote about his admiration for the qualities of others, both past and present. He saw the emulation of these figures as a way to internalize their strengths and virtues. For him and other Stoics, wisdom wasn't just theoretical knowledge, but a practical guide to living well, which could be best understood through the actions of those who have applied these principles effectively. In the context of Stoicism, choosing whom to emulate is about recognizing those who embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These could be historical figures, contemporaries, or even characters from stories and literature who demonstrate qualities such as resilience, ethical integrity, and rational thinking. The key is to look for individuals whose lives provide a roadmap for facing challenges with grace and determination. Applying this principle today involves a thoughtful selection of role models whose values align with our aspirations. It's about more than just admiration. It's about critically observing how these individuals navigate their lives, make decisions, and handle adversity. This practice encourages us to ask ourselves, what about this person's approach or mindset can I incorporate into my own life to improve my conduct and choices? Moreover, emulating wise individuals helps bridge the gap between abstract philosophical concepts and everyday actions. It provides a concrete example of how Stoic principles can be lived out. This not only makes these ideals more accessible, but also more compelling, as we see the tangible impact of Stoic virtues in the lives of those we respect, or in seeking out and emulating wise people